you have a slow eater. These guys really do eat very well. As much of the cricket to latch onto, you don't want to give them just a leg or they'll just tear it off. So we're just gonna pick them up and go put them in the tote cage. It's tripped. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ark. I'm Andrew, and this week we're feeding some crickets to our Chinese water dragon Rex. Let's go put him in the tub and watch him eat. I'm Andrew Edwards. I've spent most of my life learning about animals. And now, focusing on education, breeding, care, and the discovering of new animals. Welcome to Andrew's Reptile Ark. So Rex jumped out of his cage, so we're just gonna pick him up and go put him in the tote. So it's always important to feed your water dragon in a tote because they get used to being fed there. And you don't have to have crickets jumping around that big cage. I'm gonna put him down. So this is Rex. He is our 4-year-old male Chinese water dragon. And he loves food. Boom. As you can see, if you feed them from a bin like this from a young age, they actually do get accustomed to it pretty quickly. Depending on the lizards, some of them are a bit more stubborn than others. And this also allows them to understand or feel the hunt of grabbing a cricket, running around the cage. And it's not just in a dish that I really hate doing. A lot of people feed their water dragons in a dish. That doesn't help you interact with the animal, and that doesn't allow the animal to get out of their enclosure very often. He's focused. Oh, he's focused on the bin up here. Oh, and that happens a little bit. Just brush it off. So water dragons are primarily insectivores, so they really only eat insects and they don't really eat that much plant matter. And they recognize movement as food, so you can really see them just going after the ones that are moving. This is very common for most reptiles. Some reptiles, like monitors, can smell their food, but with these kinds of lizards, it's basically just movement. You can see him shedding right below his chin. Dump a few more in there. Let's see if he comes out. So it doesn't seem like that big of a meal for these, like him eating these little crickets, but this is what they would eat in the wild. They don't really consume large prey. You can feed these guys the occasional mouse, but nothing too much bigger than that. I wouldn't go anything bigger than a hopper, let's say. And you want to feed these guys as much as they can eat in about 10-minute period, maybe 15 if you have a slow eater. These guys really do eat very well. So you want to feed them as much as they can eat in that period. I'll go over and get some more. These guys are covered in calcium powder, so they do get calcium from this. We also have a multivitamin, which I can show you guys both of the calcium powder. This is the calcium powder that we're using. This has one of the highest calcium percentages of all the major Reptile calcium powders. So that's why I highly recommend the Zoom Med version without vitamin D3. The whole concept of D3 and if it's good or not, if you have UVB light and you're allowing them to get calcium and you have strong UVB lights, you really don't need D3. These guys don't have that thick of bones. So you actually don't need it that much in your lizard. I know that's a highly debated topic right now in the reptile industry, but I've consulted my vet about that. I trust them, so I wouldn't really put D3 in their diet. We also put a multivitamin on. Here's the multivitamin we use. This is fantastic. It has everything that the lizard needs to survive, and we only feed this once a week as opposed to the calcium that he gets almost on every feeding besides that once a week. And you can really start to see when a water dragon gets full, they really stop running after the crickets and they start just sitting there waiting for the cricket to come to them. Now we have a bunch down here. The larger the bin, the more they have to run around, so I don't recommend putting them in like a 10-gallon tank. This is a 36 by 18 by 18, so they can't really jump out. It's just a tote. And with some Repti carpet down so that they can actually get traction on the ground. You can see his massive toes right here. They use that to spread out as much as they can on a branch to actually climb. And you can see the little sharp claws. I hope you can see that. And they use that because water dragons are an arboreal lizard. They will climb all the time, and they're pretty much always active. So you do want to give them a lot of branches. We won't really talk about that much in their diet. We have a diet video that you can check out. Again, these guys are insectivores. They don't really eat anything besides that. He has ate the occasional, I was going to say strawberry, the occasional blueberry, but it's not his favorite. Again, he's focused on the thing right here. Well, there's some right here for you, buddy. I was looking at the camera, pointing that out. And of course, their name, water dragons, these guys love to swim. He doesn't really go under the water that much, but they can actually submerge themselves totally and remain underwater for quite some time. And you can really see them use that tongue. They have a very sticky tongue, much like a chameleon. Obviously, it doesn't come out of their head as much or their mouth as much. But they have a very sticky end to it so that they stick onto the prey item and then pull it into their mouth. And that's how they really eat. So they really eat one at a time. You can see that, boom, right in the mouth. And he has no problem with the camera. Sometimes they may have problems with the camera because they do recognize it as a giant eye and they don't like the fact that a giant predator is staring at them. Boom! Right in the mouth. If they do get hungry enough, they do get faster at doing this, but right now he is starting to become done with the feeding. They do know when it's time to stop. As you can see, he's not running around at all. He's just waiting for the food item to get there. Maybe we could do it this way. There's calcium powder all over my camera. Let's see if we can do this. You can hand feed him too. Oh, I dropped it. Let's try that one more time. See? So these guys are quite personable. They do come up to you for food if you train them to do that. And you can see he's much happier if I feed him as opposed to running around. Let's see if we can get him walking over here. Oh. You want to, if you are hand feeding them, you want to give them as much of the cricket to latch onto. You don't want to give them just a leg or they'll just tear it off. So you want that tongue to be right on the back side of the body right here. And you can see he's starting to lose interest. Oh. I'll go grab a cricket from over here. And this is allowing you to bond with the animal. I do recommend that with these guys. They're lovely pets. You do want them to be tame as much as possible. Boom. And sometimes they really can be endless stomachs. Nope. There you go. Oh. Got my finger. Oh, got my finger again. He kept biting my finger. Push this camera back right here. Now we feed him about maybe 2 times to 3 times a week depending on his food item. Obviously the mice are harder to digest and take longer, so we give him a few days after that to digest. Boom. There you go. You can really see down his mouth on that one. These guys do have teeth too, so you just don't want to be bit by them. It can hurt. You can see the area next to the mouth right here with the jowls. That's all muscle, so they use that to crush and hold on to prey. So in the wild, if they grab onto a mouse, let's say, or some bigger item, they can hold it and use that to actually crush or whip it around until it breaks its neck. And they also look bigger, so a lot of the bigger the jowls, the bigger the males, so it's harder to intimidate a larger male. You can see he's just staring. I love how these guys look at you. They really tilt their whole head to look at you. Oh my gosh, I can't even grab one. Boom. And as you can see, he's not scared at all. They're perfectly calm if you raise them correctly. And we can just bring him back to his cage. It's... oh, I just tripped. So yeah, they're perfectly calm. They do like being held if raised correctly. But yeah, he doesn't have any problem with me whatsoever. Now, oh. Now I will allow him to actually go back in his cage and rest and kind of digest that food. But thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get notified every time I post. And head over to our other channels, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.